Hi everyone, I'm Michael, father of the bride. I would like to thank everybody for attending Neil and Lucci's wedding and help making it such a special day for them both.
Silence in the hall, please.
I am very proud and honoured to give Lucci away, and I also think you will agree how beautiful she looks. Wow, what a dress. I would also like to thank the bridesmaids for doing a wonderful job and how pretty they look too, and the two young gentlemen as well. 3 actually, weren't they? Also, I would like to thank everybody for travelling. I know quite a few people have come quite distances today, so I would like to thank them for coming here, and also to Neil's mum and family travelling from Widnes. I bet you're so proud of them both. I hope that you all agree that we're all having a wonderful day. Now, this next little poem, I was talking to my wife, I was thinking to myself, how do I write a speech? But she's wrote one. And she actually wanted to read this out today. Can you imagine the ocean without a sandy beach? A blue sky without white puffy clouds? A trip down south without sweet tea? That's how I feel about the bride and groom. They just belong together. We couple things not because they are just alike, but because they complement each other. The saltiness of a pretzel and the sweetness of chocolate. The fruitfulness of wine and the savoury flavour of cheese. This couple will enjoy a long marriage because they too bring out the best in each other. It's not long now, don't worry. You both are fully original and complete, but somehow made even better by your spouse. As husband and wife, I wish you much success in discovering more ways to improve yourselves and each other. Those of us gathered here today already think you are both pretty great. I personally can't wait to see what God will bless with you next. So I offer a blessing from a simple, honoured maiden. May yours be a love that is never forsaken. May yours be a home that is full of gladness, that you are able to weather any sorrow or sadness. May your faith be strong in God and each other. May you be blessed to become a father and mother. May your hopes all be realised as two become one. May you cherish each other as we are loved by God's Son. Let's all raise a glass to celebrate and bear witness to true love and devotion to this amazing couple, Neil and Lucci. Neil and Lucci.
I can't top that, I'm afraid. So, unfortunately, you just have to listen to my drool, which is not as good as Michael. Well, nowhere near as good as that one, Michael, sorry. Again, I'd just like to thank everyone for coming. It's been a long time coming. We've had to wait a few years, well, a year and a bit. And we're finally here, and we've finally done it. And it's been an amazing day. And I've really enjoyed every minute of it.
Excellent. No blubbering.
No blubbering, no. That wasn't even on the speech. Anyway, for the speech, firstly, again, how amazing are the bridesmaids? They're really nice. It's my daughter, I can say that. But the bridesmaids are really, really beautiful. And again, Lucci, lovely dress, absolutely brilliant. Well done. And of course, we can't forget Neil. He scrubs up a bit well when he has to. He gets there. Anyway, for the rest of it, the speech is gone. So we're not having any of that. All I'd like to say was thank you to everyone. I've known Neil a long, long time. I first met him way back in the good old days. He poured me a few pints when he first worked at the club, introduced me to his sister, which is now my wife, which I've never forgiven him for. Neil stepped into his dad's shoes, who unfortunately can't be with us now, to give Claire away on our wedding, which was a really, really good job, which he did really, really well. And he does us proud. Anyway, for the rest of it, I'm not bothering with the rest of the speech, because that's it for us. And basically, everybody, all I can say is congratulations to Neil and Lucci, my best man, my best friend, and Lucci, you've done him proud. You really, really have.
Hello, everybody. David, I don't know how you did this. A few months ago, we went to a wedding, and I saw a man deep in emotion. And all day, he's been looking at me with a big smile on his face, and I can see him there doing the same now. First of all, welcome. Thank you for coming to our wedding. This is the hardest part. Words, often so simple to write, but so difficult to portray when there's so much emotion that are felt behind them. I will get through this. It's certainly true to say that today is a day that we have waited a long, long time to finally arrive. Today's a very emotional day, and I hope I can do justice to it through these words. I'm not one for big speeches. As we've just witnessed, my family's not used to big speeches, but I'll try to deflect as much of this away from me and onto the people that make today so special. And that does include all of you. Without you, today would have been an absolutely lovely day. But with you, it has been and continues to be an amazing, memorable, and special day. Now, a bit that I've not written in this speech, but I feel I need to say, today threw up a couple of occasions where it could have all gone wrong. There's members of this audience here now who stepped up without question, and I thank you. Now I will move on to my best man. I have to thank Neil for doing me the honour of being my best man today. I've known Neil, he said, for a long time. It's actually 30 years. Becoming family when he married my sister and becoming my brother-in-law. Some 19 years ago, I think I'm correct in saying. Neil is my partner in crime. It's fair to say that if one of us is in trouble with Lucci or my sister, then it's probable, if not assured, that the other one is looking equally sheepish in the background, as they were probably the protagonist of the event that had previously taken place that led us into the doghouse of shame. In truth, though, there could be two more partners in crime, with Ken and James corralled into this mix. We see ourselves as the four musketeers, but to our wives and girlfriends, we are perceived more like the hounds of the Baskervilles. For many a novel may be told of our adventures. Calendar Girls. That was a blockbuster movie. But Boys' Night Calendar was a Christmas blockbuster. And images can still be found on the internet to this day. So, father of the bride. It is a sad case that Lucci's dad could not be here to walk her down the aisle today. But I know, in spirit, he not only walked alongside her, but he carried her down that aisle. Nowadays, Lucci calls Michael Dada. And a true man he is. So selfless and will do anything in his power to help others without question. Michael filled the father figure role for Lucci seamlessly. When she needed somebody, Michael, alongside Andalou, was always there to be the nurturing wing she needed to protect her. When she was feeling low, scared, upset, or lonely, Michael and Anna Lou never said no. Never asking for anything in return, he is a true father figure. And to Elisa, you too should be proud of this man. You should be proud to be able to call him Dad. Just as long as you don't mind Lucy always calling him Daddy. So, Lucy, today's supposed to be about Lucy and I. But for me, today is Lucy's special day. A day I'm proud to be a part of with her, but her day. For those of you that are already married, you will understand how hard it is to plan a wedding, let alone 3. As most of you will be aware, this speech should have taken place on the 26th of September last year. But circumstances far beyond any of our wildest fears stole that day away from us. To plan a wedding, just to have it stolen away from you through lockdown measures was an inconceivable event beforehand. Then to plan another, 22nd of May, only to have equal restrictions preventing that from taking place. That's although our illustrious government guaranteed us we will be free by Easter. That for some would have been too much to deal with. And as disheartening and demoralising the second cancellation was, with steely determination, drive and will, Lucy was not going to give up on her dream. Lucy would not kowtow down to government hypocrisies of do as we say, well, we do as we please. She set about with business-like drive, well and truly fixated on planning wedding 3. Her unwavering nature shone through, absolute focus. Many tears were shed, and the notion that today may never happen did raise its head on many occasions, but Lucy's resolve was unwavering. There were countless logistical nightmares and reorganisations. Is this supplier available? Is that venue free? At this point, I must admit, Lucy was saying, I could do more. Agreed. But the truth is, and I've never told her this, I was in absolute awe of her steely resolve. Never say die. Work doesn't stop until the job is done ethic. And for all my strengths, those characteristics are characteristics that that person on the phone doesn't understand. Those characteristics that I've never, ever, and may never, ever possess. Setback after setback, little did I know what was going to happen today. Disappointment after disappointment, she went on to the next one. Nothing would defeat her. This is evident in what you see before you all here today, which I'm sure you all agree, amazing. She worked tirelessly for so long to make sure that the events of today became reality. Her vision for her dream wedding, from day one right through to this very minute, encapsulates everything that is amazing about you. She is unbelievable. And far more than these humble words will ever do justice. But back to the meeting. The first time I laid eyes on Lucy, there was an impulse in my head, a sense of knowing, as if I already knew the outcome. If I can describe it, which I really can't, I can only describe it as a complete sense of inevitability. I knew. This was to be my ever after from that moment onwards. Like a simulation of life had downloaded and installed update 2.1 straight into the brain. If you've ever experienced deja vu, or view, then the sense was similar to that. In that it was as if every piece of a jigsaw of life had been placed onto the table and the entire outer frame was complete. Since that moment, those random inner pieces are starting to find their place on the board. The more we learned about each other, the more commonalities we Oh my God, my computer's going on the internet. Sorry. Sorry about that. The more we learned about each other, the more commonalities we found. Well, that's never happened before. We are both simple people and getting a lot of happiness and tranquility in those simple things. Exercise, fitness, and walking. Walking remaining one of our daily passions for both of us each evening. I likewise interested in the same TV programmes and movies. And the absolute seller for me, something she mentioned when we first met. She informed me of her absolute love of the film Top Gun. To carry on, a movie I must have seen hundreds of times, as my sister will attest. Most weekends, many moons ago, I used to stagger home after a night of jollies to get my motivational boost by placing the Top Gun DVD in my player, sitting back and falling asleep before Tom Cruise had ever reached Minima. Yep, my Carlsberg consumption was writing checks my less than sober mind couldn't cash. The more we learned about each other, the more Lucci was being enticed into the Gilhooley charm. But of course, for me, as you've heard by the fact that it was inevitable, it was inevitable. We got engaged on an absolutely soaking wet, rainy day, all planned to perfection beyond Lucci's knowledge. By Claire, by Neil, by Catherine, by Ken, by James, and by Claire. Not forgetting Mum. Lucci thought her and I were simply running a 10k road race. But little did she realise that we had all planned for me to stop at the finishing line, go down on one knee, and propose. So we began the race, got soaked wet through, and all I was thinking, I hope she makes it to the finish line. As we approached the stadium finish line, I secretly put my hand into my pocket to take out the ring in preparation. But to my shock and horror, my runner's number had been pinned through my pocket, and I couldn't get the ring out. So, with a subtle but hefty tug, I managed to free my pocket, alas ripping my jacket, and prepared the ring box in my hand. As we entered the stadium, the line was getting closer, and I thought, this is the moment. And just as I was about to slow to a halt, to feign an injury, to take to my knee, I spotted James. Waving his hands, shouted, "No, keep going!" A little bit amused, we crossed the line, and I still wasn't on my knee. But then I saw Ken and Mum in the corner, Ken with his camera in hand, ready to snap the big occasion. So, in that corner, just as we slowed to a walk, I went onto my knee and prepared the ring. Just as Lucci turned to me, saw the ring, and burst out crying in front of, not thousands, that's an exaggeration, hundreds of spectators, I was thinking, bugger. I hope those are happy tears, otherwise I'm running another 10k out of here. Luckily, they were happy tears, and as you can guess, she said yes. Later, well, thanks for saying yes. Later, I asked James why he made me keep running. His reply, "We told them what you were planning, and they were horrified in case I caused a mass pile-up of the runners trying to finish the race." It was a beautiful day, albeit soaking wet, and it also brought us a little bit of local fame. As someone in this room linked the story to the St. Helens Star, you know who you are?
Sorry.
Everyone now knows who you are. The day after the story featured, I turned up at school, only to find that Karen Brown had photocopied the story countless times and placed it all over my desk and surrounding areas. So much for a low profile. That event led us to today. And we asked the question, why today? Not only is this a day of special meaning for Lucy and I, but today, the 25th of September, would have been Mum's, don't use that, would have been Mum's wedding anniversary. But sadly, Dad died in 2001. And so, this day since then became a bittersweet day. It lost all of its joy and happiness and was replaced with a forlonging sorrow. But again, another piece of the jigsaw has fallen into place. 1 year ago, we intended to get married on the 26th of September in the hope that it would make this time of year more joyful for Mum. But again, destiny stepped in and put an end to any wedding taking place on that day. And fate brought us to the 25th of September, the 50th wedding anniversary of Kathleen and Brian Gilhooley, Mum and Dad. But in the true sense of completion, Dad was a wedding photographer, and his legacy, his camera, has helped make today a forever moment for us too. In the hands of our wonderful photographer, Linda, she has used his original wedding camera today. Thank you, Linda. Even if the pictures don't come out, that is the lasting memory. Thank you, Linda. So to conclude, everything today is about the vision of Lucy. Her image that she held in her mind for so long, she's been unwavered and meticulous in her planning. She's worked so hard to make today special, not just for her and I, but for us. I could never have achieved what she has brought together. And it is now my honour to repay her, care for her, protect her from harm, from hurt, and to love her for the rest of my life. And I do that willingly. So to end this little monologue, to anyone else who is also a fan of Top Gun, you may have your own ending to this, but Lucy, I love you, and you can be my wingman any day.